and welcome back to another episode of The Devil's in the Details, hosted by yours truly, Kat Donovan, author of The Devil's Odyssey, a book club for my own book. Anyways, we're switching it up a little bit. I like to make things conversational, and I like to hear different people's takes on things. This is, in fact, supposed to be a community. That being said, today, I'm thrilled to introduce a very special guest. Someone who also appears in my book and has been a very important part of my own story. She's one of the most charismatic and determined people I know. When she sets her mind to something, she makes it happen. She's a blockchain solutions engineer in fintech with a Wall Street background and the founder of Fem Finance, a platform dedicated to making finance and crypto simple, accessible, and empowering for everyone. She bridges the gap between technical innovation and financial freedom. But beyond the titles, what I admire most is her commitment to growth. She's always evolving, always becoming a better version of herself. Over the past 8 years, we've traveled the world together, shared countless adventures, and created memories that will last a lifetime. It's an honor to welcome my dear friend, Kristina Tubera.
Hello, I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, no, I feel like we've talked about this for a little bit, so it's nice being able to have someone else to talk to about this.
Yes, especially because reading your book, I know who certain characters are, and then at the same time too, it's great to see your perspective living the same experience that we've had together.
Yeah. So for you, some of you guys, you may not actually recognize who she is in the book because Kristina is a very multifaceted lady. So although she is in fintech and finance, the thing that we share in common is modeling. So we actually did Miami Swim Week together. She was my friend that I got to experience that with. And so with that, there's actually so much to be said about the modeling industry.
Oh, too much.
And honestly, just society as a whole pertaining to beauty standards, body image, objectification and sexualization, and social media. So we're going to get into all of that. But first, I kind of wanted to hear more about how you got started in modeling. I know you do pageants. I know you have one coming up. Yep. So I'm curious if that's what led you into modeling, and when did you get started in them both? What's like your origin story, if you will?
I think I've always been attracted to like glitz and glamour. I think when I first saw Victoria's Secret fashion show, the one back in the 90s, and then Miss Universe as well. I think those two things are what really wanted me to start modeling. Unfortunately, I'm a tiny girl, I'm 5'2", so I know that if I wanted to get into the modeling industry, I had to make those opportunities for myself. So I started modeling online. The great thing about being a social media content creator is you can create those opportunities for yourself, and no one knows how tall you are because you're posting on social media. So that's how I started getting into it. It was just something I did for fun, and then I started getting booked in some shows like Miami Swim Week because of just like reaching out to people and asking. But yes, it is not as glamorous as it all looks. And I think a lot of beauty standards and the, I think, seedy nature makes its way into some of these industries, and it's really sad to see.
So when did you actually start modeling? Was that like 2020?
I think my first experience was in college when I was a Victoria's Secret pink campus rep.
Oh my gosh, wait, that's actually how we met.
So that was like I forgot about that. Yeah, I think there's a lot of things in my memory that I've definitely forgotten. But yeah, so I was Victoria's Secret Pink Campus Rep, and they had the opportunity I had the opportunity to bring some friends to this pop-up in this random ranch in school. And so everything was paid for, like the Victoria's Secret, they brought us buses to bring our friends, there was food, there was drinks, there was free face masks and nail swag, like really cool stuff. And so I remember me, Kat, and I think 3 of our friends at the time, all buying the same bikini. Yep. And then taking a photo in said bikini. And then I think it was like featured very briefly on the social media Instagram of Victoria's Secret Pink for the UT Austin kind of crew. So I think that was where it first started, and I guess you're a part of that experience.
I love that. That's so sick.
New memory unlocked.
When did you start doing pageants?
I started doing pageants when I was 16 because, again, I love the glitz and the glamour, but also the Miss America system gives away money.
Oh, nice.
So I won, I would say like a couple of thousands of dollars before the age of 18. When I competed as an adult, the numbers go up. So there's minimum requirements. If you compete at Miss Teen Texas, you have to win minimum like I want to say like 1 to 5K.
Mm-hmm.
As a miss, when you're older, you have to win a minimum, I think, of around like 5 to 10K.
Wait, so they're judging you based on how much money you won?
No. They're judging you on interview, talent. So my talent was classical piano. Interview, talent, some kind of like public speaking thing, and evening gown. So you're judged on those, and then if you win like first runner up, that's 10K. If you're the winner, that's $100,000, I think. Back in the day it was, now not so much.
Goodness.
So it was a good, I've always been...
It's a side hustle, for sure.
Yeah, I've always been someone to hustle and grind. I was like, why not do something that allows me to do both? And so that's why I've always loved pageants, because it opens so many doors for you. One, gives you access to a less seedy version of like modeling in that industry, but then you also get to potentially win money to help fund your scholarship, your dreams, your goals, whatever you want.
True.
Wow. Yeah.
Well, I did not know that.
I mean, it's a scholarship organization, but that's why they took away the bikini. But I was like, oh, I love the bikini portion. That was like the fun part. Why? Yeah, I know. Like, why can't I, be a scholarship participant and then wear a bikini? And they're like, oh, well, it's not really that relevant. And I was like, okay, well, sounds like I just have to find places to model a bikini somewhere else.
Precisely.
Which is what we did.
So, I know that you mentioned quite a few good things about pageants and modeling and everything like that, but I am curious, how do you feel society affects your body image and beauty standards, and how do you feel modeling and pageants have affected your body image and beauty standards?
I think that society always tries to put women in a box, and they're always like, women need to look like X, Y, and Z. Of course, things have changed over time, but there's some areas, especially I think being at Miami Swim Week, like if I was like 16, I would be devastated, or I would feel really, really, really insecure, in my opinion. So I think like the way that I saw my body, because I did it in pageantry, it was different. I felt empowered. But being in that room, like I think whenever we had our call time, and there was like so many girls in one place, then there were also men in the room as we were getting changed. I was like, okay, you know what? Like I was 28 then, 27, something like that. I was like, we're grown women. Like I know that this is wrong, so I'm just gonna go to a different room and change. Yeah. Imagine if someone's like 16 trying to model for the first time, and like it's normal you have to take off your clothes in front of these people. Like that shouldn't be normalized. That shouldn't be okay. Yeah. And then I think with social media too, like everyone should take social media with a grain of salt. Like it's not real. It is the best version of yourself. It's the best photo. It's the best angle. Even myself, like I take photos. I'm not going to post a one where I don't look good. But the reality is, everyone has different angles. You might not always like the angle, but people are only posting what they want to see. Yeah, no, I agree. Well, it's also interesting because as I traveled over the past year, I realized going back to like what you said about women being in a box, one of the things that I actually hated was I didn't wear makeup when I traveled because it was like, for what? For why? Why would I do that? Exactly. And whenever I came back and I got a job for 2 days back in like March. Amazing. And I was like, I'm not doing this. And it was because they expected me to wear makeup. They expected me to have my hair done. It was like a bottle girl type-esque job, like server-esque type job. And I was just like, this actually doesn't align with me. And I ended up throwing out all of my makeup. So I actually just haven't worn makeup since like beginning of April, since I quit that, and then I don't think I've owned makeup since May. You were living out the John Tomes Naked Swim Week. no makeup fashion show. Literally, I was just like, I think like part of me is just like, why is makeup viewed as a currency for women and not for men? I think that's what's the most upsetting is because I actually really like makeup as a creative outlet. And that's the only reason that I don't fully bash makeup as a whole, but it's just interesting because if you think about the whole beauty industry, like they're basically selling you on your insecurities and being like, this is what you need, this is why. So I almost like when I'm thinking of what I would like a new society to look like, in my head I'm like, we should be focusing more on beauty through like holistic health, if you will, or just kind of even like what we were talking about earlier is your diet, as you were like, this is the diet that I
eat now, whatever. And it's understanding like, okay, a lot of the time it doesn't have to be about fixing. That's like a Band-Aid solution. If you actually have a problem with the way that you look, you need to understand what the true problems and what your body's telling you type of thing.
Exactly.
And I think I would be curious to see in the next like 5 to 10 years if we'll focus more just on like skincare and things like that instead of trying to cover up your skin with foundations and stuff like that.
Exactly. Like I think one thing that I've pivoted to is a lot more like skincare, but like also supplements and like things that are good for my health, right? Like I can put makeup all day, but if I'm not healthy on the inside, then it's not going to reflect on the outside. Like my eyes are not going to be as bright, or my skin's not going to be as elastic, everything like that. And so I think that at least what I'm seeing here in New York is a move toward social wellness. People have stopped drinking almost completely. People are now going to like social saunas. Like,
wait, what?
Yeah,
Is that actually a thing?
It's like a club. I mean, girl, it's expensive, so girl can't go often. I mean, it's a little cheaper to go to a bar, but people are going to like saunas to meet people, and there's like these sauna raves I want to go to, but it's like $80.
A sauna rave?
So they have. I've been dying to go to one of these, but it just like happens to be so busy sometimes.
So is it people like sober in a sauna just jamming to some music?
They have a DJ come in. Sometimes they'll do some like breath work. They'll play music, and like you can dance if you want to. You can vibe if you want to. There's a cold plunge. You can go to the cold plunge. Then there's like a common area with tea and like some drinks, and you're chatting.
Is it more like? If you think about any of the spas that we've gone to, is it kind of like a full spa and there just happens to be a sauna, or is it literally like the whole building?
Oh, that's a good
like
point.
Yes. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yes. It's like we've been to so many spas. We've been to Sojo. We've been to like one in Spain. I guess we didn't go to one in Thailand, but I guess it's like
we should have.
Yeah. Well, you're running the marathon, so that's a little different. Or the 5K.
Half marathon.
Yeah. I mean, it's still a lot.
One of the options.
It was so late. Side tangent, yeah. I was like, you were like running at 12 a.m. And then I was like, well, I guess I gotta wake up at like 5. And everyone's like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, I'm gonna meet my friend at the finish line.
Yeah.
And I took a motorcycle because in Thailand, you don't want to take a cab. So I was like riding on the back of a motorcycle. I'm like, oh crap, am I gonna miss it? And then I got your
my end clip of like me crossing the finish line and being so
and
pissed.
she did not look happy, and I was like, why? I was like, why is she not happy? She just finished a half marathon.
It's so funny because I did a whole series on my TikTok. I did every single day except for the actual race. And one of my friends from Texas, I see her and she goes, I have to know. I was keeping up with your series, and what happened at the half marathon? Because you just never posted about it.
That is so
like,
funny.
Maybe one day I will. If you just randomly see one video, like a
you
year
should.
later.
Yeah, I have the video footage. I can send it to you. We have pictures from that day. I think we tried to get mango sticky rice, but it was closed. And then I went to bed, and I think you...
Oh, I almost passed out in the shower. It was great.
You were really tired.
I think my body was just dehydrated.
Yeah, it was hot. It was hot and sticky. But yeah. Anyways, the sauna, it's just like a normal sauna that we've been to before, and then they just happen to have a DJ there. So more health and wellness related.
Interesting. I actually did not know that was a thing. I don't want to do it now, but
I think you'd be a great instructor.
Is that my next? Is that
your next move? Is that the move?
Who's to say?
I know. We never know. All right, you should
never
DM them, and then I could throw parties there. That'd be great. The Devil's Odyssey party.
Could be good.
Could be good. Halloween themed. All right, you have a month.
I have 1 month. Starts now. So, the other thing is that you're in finance, which is a heavily male-dominant industry. So it's interesting, like, the juxtaposition that you have between your finance situation and career, and then also having, like, pageants and modeling, which is hyper-feminine, be your other side. So I am curious, how do you feel this has shaped the way that you present yourself?
So I used to be really afraid to, like, show who I was or show who I am, because as we mentioned earlier, women are typically put into boxes. Either you're feminine or you're butch, or you're smart and a nerd, or you're beautiful and dumb. And for me, I was like, oh, I don't want to be associated with the modeling and the pageantry and everything like that, because I don't want people to overlook my intelligence or try to put me in a box or label me. I think that's something that women struggle with in this society. However, I think the older that I've gotten, I want to embrace my whole self. I don't want to have this like secret side of me where I do X, Y, and Z. Like, I think that the pageantry and the modeling, the presentation, and just overall personal upkeep has helped me succeed in my role in ways that maybe the finance bro wouldn't succeed in. So I think it's being brave and being strong in who I am, and knowing that if God put this desire into my heart, it is up to me to respect that and not think about what other people would think of me, because at the end of the day, this and who I am has taken me far more places than just being what society wants me to be.
Yeah. No, 100%. And like that's how you also slowly change society, so that way
Exactly.
one day women aren't in a box.
Exactly. Like, I think if you are fully yourself, that allows the person next to you to also be fully themselves. And then that will continue to grow. But if we allow our own insecurities to get the best of us, it will then reflect onto other people and other people. Like, we have more power in our own lives and in our friends and our communities than we think we do, because I think society wants to tell us that we don't have any power at all.
So do you think that if we all were authentically ourselves, do you think there is actually a beauty standard at that point? Or do you think beauty standards go away because or is the standard just authenticity? Like, what does that look like in a new world?
I think authenticity will become the new standard. I think many people are now tired of seeing the same old, like, tall, skinny, whatever, like, model-esque. They want to see someone's personality. They want to see someone who makes it different. They want to see someone who has a story to tell, or maybe they're a model and they create on the side, or are more relatable than just like, here is a walking clothes hanger. Of course, there will always be, that sector, especially in high fashion. But I think what I'm seeing in this new generation is that you can play on your own strengths, or at least that's what I want to see in the world, and what I'm playing to myself. Like, I'm short and I'm competing in Miss Dallas, which, as we know, we love a good Dallas blonde. But that is the competition, right? But for me, I'm like, no. They are not looking for a certain type. They're looking for me. And they will change the script. They will change who they are looking for, because it will be so good that they cannot ignore me. And I think if we all kind of have that mindset, rather than comparing ourselves to one another, that beauty standard will now be being authentic and being confident in who you are.
Do you think that over the next 5 to 10 years, as we start to get more comfortable with authenticity, that we'll see decreases in plastic surgery, filler, Botox, that kind of stuff? Or do you think that's something that will stick around?
I love a good Botox. I love a good Botox. But I think that people are using it now in a way that it's more natural. Like, people don't want the duck lips. People don't want the super high cheekbones. I think a lot of people don't want the fox eye thing anymore. I think people want to look more like themselves. Again, though, if someone feels like this is authentically them looking, changing and altering their face, I think that's almost kind of body dysmorphia. However, I think what the trend, at least from what I'm seeing, is a lot more natural. Didn't Kim K take out her butt implants?
I think she did that a couple of years ago.
Exactly. And then once Timothée Chalamet and the other Jenner, Kylie, once they started dating, she took out a lot of her fillers. She got a breast reduction. She became more natural. Well, I think she got a breast reduction. I'm not sure.
I honestly don't.
Well, she also has a kid, so maybe it was the ebb and flow of lactation. But
maybe. I don't know. That kid's 7 at this point.
It's crazy. I mean, she had it 21, right?
She was pretty young. I honestly have no idea about her plastic surgery story, but I know she's someone that was very young whenever she started doing it.
Yes.
And I think she was borderline not fully developed before she did it, which I'm so curious what the effects of that.
I mean, I know she got her lips
her lips.
It was just too big. It was just
Yeah.
too big. Like, yeah, like I think beauty standards are becoming more relatable. Is that the word? Or more natural?
Natural, maybe?
Yeah, like enhancing rather than like, let me look like a different ethnicity. Like, you know, with these things. Like, that's not the vibe anymore.
Yeah. Speaking of of injections and stuff.
Oh, shit.
Let's talk a little bit more about Miami Swim Week, because I know we talked about it in the moment.
Whoa,
but
yeah.
What were your biggest takeaways from the shows that we did that week?
A lot of ass. A lot of ass that was not real and lips that were not real.
It was like, Miami, I think, is known for being very
voluptuous. I couldn't stop staring.
But it is interesting because I think this was a trend on social media a few years back where it was like, I'm a 7 here, but I'm a 10 here, I'm a this here, and a that there. And it's like Miami is always one of the places where it's supposed to be really hard to fit into that beauty standard just because it's all plastic. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Not to say it's all plastic, but that show, those girls were, majority of them I would have said had breast implants. I would say majority of them had ass implants of some sort. There was definitely some tummy tucks. There was definitely a lot of lip filler, a lot of cheek filler.
A lot of filler, like almost alien.
Yeah.
Like, I'm all for people doing what they want to do to make themselves feel beautiful, but it was so over the top.
See, I think over time, I don't agree with it, actually. I think because the problem is that how they looked was never the issue. It was the way that they viewed themselves that was the issue. Yeah. And I think that's why you see so many people, like, go too far into getting the duck lips because it's never enough. It's never enough. Because the insecurity still sits there, that it's like, you can't physically fix this problem. You need to mentally fix this problem. And I think there are some things where you're like, if it really is, like, let's say you broke your nose as a kid, and then you just, like, you didn't need surgery, but, like, your nose has always just not been what you wanted it to be, and then you get it fixed. Like, that's a very different story than just, like, someone made fun of me my whole life for my nose, and now I just have an insecurity about it. Like, I don't know. I think those are two very different things, and you're doing it for different reasons.
Exactly.
And until you actually are like, I just like me, I'm cool with it. I don't think until you have that mentality, you should be touching a knife of any kind.
Exactly. I also think that getting it too young, like in your impressionable years, is really dangerous because if you never learn to go through an ugly phase, I'm sorry.
Humbling.
Yeah, like that's how you build personality. That's how you build grit. That's how you become funny. But I met this one. It was a friend of a friend. Said that this 14-year-old got a nose job.
That's got her parents.
Buccal fat surgery. Got some fillers.
Buccal fat.
They removed your cheeks.
Oh.
I was like, you're 14. And that was not on the child. That was on the parents for allowing that because like there's no excuse. There's no excuse for a child to be getting that. Until you are an adult and you can think for yourself and not from the pressures of social media or society. Because at the end of the day, I've gone bullied for, my skin color, my eyes, like all these things that 10 years later, people compliment me for. Yeah. So you never know, what's going to be a trend of like what was not trendy now might be trendy later, being American like here or being like this ethnicity now, like you never know, so might as well just own who you are at that moment because no one can take that confidence away from you.
Well, it's also funny too because so the one thing that was terrible for me growing up was my skin. I had terrible acne, and so I had to go on Accutane. I had taken like oral prescriptions for I think like 4 years before I went on Accutane, like just nothing worked. And now I've had multiple people recently tell me that my skin is absolutely stunning. And I'm like, That's crazy. I'll take it. But that's crazy. Because it's just like, it goes back to mindset and where you're at mentally, because you can't fix bad skin. Like, you can't, that's one thing where no matter what, you can't even get a surgery to fix that. It's just, it is.
It's time.
What it is. And it's all about actually, again, taking care of what are you eating, because that does affect your skin. What are you drinking, because that also affects it. And it's also, again, what are you thinking? So I went deep down a rabbit hole back in like April, May, and it was all about what different things showing up within your body is telling you. And granted, a lot of issues that people have in their body are pertaining to emotional suppression or just not like speaking on certain things. So depending on where it is, it'll like tell you what it's specifically kind of about.
Oh, wow.
But I can definitely think back and be like, oh my gosh, in high school and middle school, I definitely didn't speak out on anything. I definitely stayed quiet on any thoughts, opinions, whatever I had, because that's like the norm that you grow up with, where especially like if you're an athlete, it's like on the line and you don't really question authority. You don't do things like that.
Yeah.
And now you think to being 27, it's like, of course I've learned to speak up for myself. Of course, like I've learned how to just state my opinion and let it flow. And if people don't like it, they don't like it.
Yeah.
But it's just interesting because it makes more sense whenever you're thinking about like, oh, what am I suppressing? Like, what am I not actually addressing mentally that's showing up physically now?
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, Miami Swim Week was an interesting one.
It was a lot. And I feel like if people were able to take a step back and be like, do I really need this? Do I want this? Do I want to change my body? Or do I just need it because this is something that's trendy right now that I need to fit into that I'm going to take out 10 years later?
Which is exactly why I actually really liked our naked show that we went to. That's naked, like, makeupless, not...
We weren't naked.
Yeah. I'm just going to clarify that.
Just in case.
But that being said... I know you've done a variety of different shoots. Some are very chic and businessy, some are more lifestyle-esque. But I also know that you've done some sexier stuff.
Yeah.
So, for me personally, in the book I talk about this, but I actually thought about doing Miami Swim Week again this year.
Oh shit, I didn't know that!
Yeah, I had someone reach out to me, basically, and they were like, hey, like they would fly me out there, they would put me up, they would actually pay me to walk. And I was like, yeah, I'll take a call with you. And what they failed to tell me is that they named different brands that they were, like Kulani Kinis was one of them. And I was like, oh, cool, I've seen some ads for them there. That's cute.
Yeah.
The main one that they left out in the email, but the main one that they were hiring for was Playboy.
Wait, that's so cool though.
But at the same time, it's like, I got on the call and he was like, are you okay with that? And I was like, I'm going to have to think about that. And he goes, why? And I was like...
Wait, but you didn't have to be nude. Playboy's no longer nude now.
I wouldn't have been like nude on the stage, but still tying yourself to that brand
I guess it's true.
is definitely like... If you say Playboy, what do you think? Nude girls.
Yeah.
Like, that is...
Yeah, but I love Playboy.
But that's just the thing, is it's like... He didn't tell me that. I told him.
That's a little weird. So
and then he was like,
like
why?
A recruiter for them?
No, he was just recruiting for these shows. And then what ended up happening is he's like, we get through this whole part, which I just didn't like the way that he was like, why? As if he didn't know. Like, come on. Let's not try to gaslight me here. And then I start walking for him, which very normal. And then he's like, you're beautiful. You just need to be more confident. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about? Why do you keep saying this? He kept repeating it. I was like, this is just really weird. And then he was like, you need to be more bouncy. And that's when it clicked for me. And I was like, oh, you just want to see my tits jiggle. And you just want my butt to shake. And that's the only reason. That's your version of confidence and being bubbly. Like, it was like, you're objectifying me.
That's weird.
Right? So that's why I was curious, is because I know that you've done other shoots. Have you ever experienced situations where you felt objectified or felt like the vibes were a little bit more pressured than they should be, especially surrounding more personal content.
Yes.
And like, this is, I think you kind of touched on this at the beginning, but it's like, if you were in this kind of situation, like, how would you handle it? Or like, how would you recommend other girls that are trying to get into like the modeling or whatever industry to handle those types of situations?
Yeah. First of all, that's a weird experience.
Right?
Second of all, was he like an official recruiter or anything? Or he was just like...
He was, I don't know what the brand is, but it was like they basically were the ones that got the girls in order to place into shows. So it was like, we have these girls.
Agency?
Yes. It was an agency. And then they like help fit girls into the different brands.
Interesting. I didn't even know Playboy had a...
I don't know if it's specifically for Playboy or like, because like I said, there's multiple brands. That's why, because they were talking to me and they were like, would you be okay doing like press beforehand and stuff like that? Like going on different podcasts and like different events and stuff like that. So that's why I was like, this is really...
That sounds really awesome though.
Like, yes.
Or did it sound like too good to be true kind of thing? Especially
it didn't sound too good to be true. It was more so just like the way that he was basically just trying to get it so that way, like, I was more bouncy. I immediately, I didn't even really care about anything after that. I just said, yeah, I don't think this is for me. And he goes, did I make you uncomfortable? And I was like, this just isn't for me.
I mean, I guess, it's a little bit different because if he's actually a recruiter, like, I've gotten that feedback before. But also, that's from my pageant coach. That's from my dance coach. And they're like, Kristina, you need to be bouncy. You need to be, like, that's literally, like, when I think down, like, I'm like, oh, I'm walking down, I'm hot, I'm sexy. They're like, no, bounce up. You gotta make everything, like, walk. So, I mean, I'm not saying, like, that wasn't, like, valid, but I think that depending on what they're casting for, I've gotten that feedback from, like, women. It would be weird if a man said that to me, because it'd be like, okay, don't want a man talking
while
to me
you're also in a bikini. Like, if you're in like leggings or whatever, and you're walking for a pageant, and like it's a girl that you know is, it's very different coming off. Especially, I think it was also the fact that he tried to gaslight me into being like, well, why would you have to?
Yeah, it sounds like
it's like the culmination
combo of everything.
I was just like, I don't like you.
Yeah. But my feedback that I've gotten is be more bouncy, be more showing, like you were a cheerleader, like you're auditioning, act like a cheerleader, not like a hip hop kind of like.
Was it specifically for pageants or was it for modeling too? Like for.
This one was for the cheer.
Oh, cheer makes sense.
Well, but then this one also was for my bikini walk for the pageant. But these are women saying this. This is not men saying it.
So then my other question to that is like, did they say that because again it's going for the male gaze?
I think the cheerleading, yes, it is going for the male gaze.
But also even for like when you're walking in swimsuit, the way that we've teed up how you should walk in a swimsuit is borderline for men, which again is objectifying women. And I think that's just like my sole issue with it is I just realized like as a woman, I don't care if a woman's tits go up and down. That's not what I'm looking for when I see a girl walk. I want the sexy like stomp, like fashion walk almost. Like I don't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like
it's like even though that's the way to do it, like in theory, is it the right way that we should actually be doing it, or is this something that needs to change as we go into the future?
Yeah, I think with pageants, that one's a lot more, because all of my judges right now are women. So they're like, I think they were like, just be more confident, be more bouncy. That was kind of like the feedback. Definitely for the cheerleading, I mean, it's a little bit for the male gaze, but also too, like, when I first saw a cheerleader and I was like, I want to be like a pro cheerleader as well, she like waved to me and she was like, hi, and like she was bouncing, she had a lot of energy. So I think it depends on who was telling you to do that, what you're wearing, and also like overall vibe, because to go back to your question, there has been circumstances where it's not like my pageant coach that I trust that's telling me, Kristina, you need to be more bouncy in your bikini, or you need to be more bouncy in your I was wearing like a bra top with like glitter on it. I did a lot of time for print, and there was one like scene where I wanted to wear this bra and underwear that was sent to me. Pepper like paid me to do a couple of campaigns with them, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna send in some professional shoots. There was a bed in the studio that we rented out. And I told them I don't want to do any boudoir. I don't want to be on the bed while I do these things. Because for me, I want to showcase a bra and panty. I want to showcase, like, maybe here's me, like, holding a cup or, like, modeling normally. And they insisted just a couple shots on the bed. And I was like, I've already been here for 3 fucking hours. I already said no. I was
3
like...
3 hours? And they were like...
Well, no, I wasn't on the bed for 3 hours. I did other things. I was just so tired.
Yeah, that's a long shoot.
I was like, this is like, I'm so over it. Like, I did get like 5 different looks, and I was like, whatever, I'm just gonna sit on the bed. And I literally sat down, like, and both of them, it was disgusting. Both of them were like cracking photos. I was like, I'm not even posing. My face is not even showing. You just like seeing me in a bikini, in a bra and underwear on a bed. Like, if they only put that much time and energy in showcasing the actual product while I was, like, posing it or looking at the mirror or, like, doing something artistic, I would have had some really awesome shots, but they were so obsessed with me on the bed wearing something that was more revealing. And I was like, I'm never going to work with these people again. I'm never going to recommend them to anyone ever again, because I was a woman that was a couple years ago. I can't imagine what would happen to a younger girl who could not speak up.
Yup.
And that goes to show, like, there are some seedy people, but there are some people, like my pageant coach, looking out for me. Like, if you want to win this, you want to do this, you need to do this. But some people are like, oh, you need to be this way because I want to see you like that.
Yeah. I think it's just one of those things where it's, like, learning to say no, which is really hard in the moment, but, like...
It's hard. Especially
when they keep asking you over and over and over again.
Yeah, I think as creators, too, like, and... we create to show to other people. Like, I would consider pageantry like almost like an art. Like, dance, of course, is an art, but you do that to not only like share your own emotions, but to invoke emotion out of other people too. And then when you have someone where like they take your craft and they're like, make it like this, you want to listen to them. It's not like a business yes or no. It's like, okay, let's create something together. And then you almost feel like it's so difficult to say no.
Well, that's the other part of this, too, is I think is hard as a model, because whenever you're trying to get the shot for someone else, I think that's how you can easily become objectified.
Yeah.
Is because if you're not collaborating, if you're not giving feedback, if they're not listening to your feedback, then you really are just like a pawn in their game, which it's tough, because I don't think that that's how it should be. Like, I think... the modeling industry, this is actually just not even about the modeling industry, but just as jobs as a whole, we've gotten into this mindset of, I desperately need to get this role because I'm so determined to get into this industry that I will mold myself to fit this position, instead of staying true to who we are and then allowing a different, more aligned situation to come towards us or show up. And I think that's just the issue as it is, because if you're not a collaborator on the project that you're working on, you're an object, kind of.
And I think, too, like, especially in this economy, like, sometimes, you do things that are not super aligned with you because you need to make ends meet, or you need to make it happen. Like, I think that I definitely did have respect for myself when I was working a couple jobs in finance, but I was like, I need to pay off my debt. I need to do this. And, like, it showed in my body. I was like 30 pounds heavier than I was now. But, like, you do think, and I think everyone has been there, right? It's a very humbling moment where you're like, fuck, like, I am not respecting myself to my highest degree because I had to make ends meet. And as long as it's, building character, like, respectful to an extent, like, I think those things make you so much stronger in your career, regardless if it's going to be down a traditional 9-to-5 or as a creator, because you know what it's like to work and things that sometimes you don't like.
Yeah.
And then you will take, I guess, new roles and things that are more aligned, and you will treat them with a lot more respect than someone who maybe just had the privilege to be able to do that right off the bat.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And also, again, you are in a male-dominated field. So have you ever felt like you've been sexualized or objectified while you're at work?
I didn't take this job offer once because a man on the team asked me for nudes.
What?
This was a couple years
Did you
back.
report him to HR?
Oh yeah! Oh my god, yeah. I was like, hey, I know you're offering me, and this is I was younger. I think I was 26. They were offering me $200,000 cash to work for them. I was like, holy shit! I'm about to make so much money. And I didn't take that role because that just made me so uncomfortable that I was like, if I'm gonna break my back, and please these people to make that money, because you do, everyone knows, like Wall Street and working in finance and in crypto is it's hard. You're gonna have to have a lot of tough skin, and I've been in other worse, well, not that worse, but pretty bad situations. But if that's what I'm getting right off the bat, like if that's the first thing someone says to me, I'm like, I don't need the 200K.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll get there eventually. There are more opportunities. I ended up getting a different offer that was like, I guess like 50K below that, but whatever. I mean, it was still a good job. I kept, my dignity. I felt safe. I made great friends. And hopefully that company is going to IPO soon. So I might have a good check from that. But that was an experience that made me uncomfortable. I reported them. I said, I don't want to, work here anymore. And that was that.
Good for you. Good for you, because not everyone would say anything.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to advocate for yourself. I think I went, a long time, especially in college, where I didn't know how to, say no. I didn't know what consent was. I didn't know all these things because in Christian Texas, we're not taught, that no means no, or these things, or respect, or, just consent in general, sexual education. So I spoke up for the young girl in me who was 18 years old who did not know what was right and wrong. And I think that the unfortunate part, a lot of men and women don't know what's right or wrong. It's one thing to advocate for yourself, but it's another thing to not know when to advocate.
Also true.
And I think coming from a very traditional background, conservative, the South, women are taught, certain things. We get slut-shamed, and there's not education around how to do the right thing for yourself or for another person.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. Now these are more future-oriented-ish questions.
Oh,
but
God, the future.
I am curious, since you're in tech,
yeah.
How do you think technology, whether that be filters, AI, cosmetic procedures, etc., is shaping our collective idea of what beauty even means?
I think nowadays with all the filters and the ability to Photoshop and edit, we are unable to tell what looks even real anymore and what is real.
That's so true. This is totally side note. My sister-in-law ended up showing me a video that she saw on Instagram Reels where it was different dogs doing dives off of a diving board.
Wait, I love that.
And she legitimately thought it was real, but then she sent it to me and I was like, honestly, like I see why.
I want to see
it looks real, but just like in your head, you have to think about it and really be like,
okay,
a dog couldn't do that, right?
I just made an AI video of my dog talking. So when my boyfriend and I get into arguments, I don't actually talk to him about it because I get way too heated. I'm like a Sagittarius, very fire angry. I take a picture of my dog and I type out what I want it to say. I change the voice and my dog communicates for me what I want.
That's really funny.
And it's actually so cute.
That's so funny.
I think
I'm Michael, she's mine now. Haha.
Yeah, that's...
Anyways, back to filters.
Yeah, we
and
don't
AI.
know what's real or not. And I definitely, that's kind of why I like social media a lot more than like editorial shoots. Like,
I love
seeing
social media is like, I feel like at this point, a lot of it is Photoshop or like done AI type thing.
But I guess for me, like, what would make me want to buy? Well, maybe not to buy something, but what would invoke stronger emotions out of me? Maybe like an everyday girl who's like, here's me and my matcha, or like just something cute, or like, do I want a high photo shoot of like super glamour, like hair and makeup done, like, you know, expensive camera.
You're into
doing
the
like a
UGC,
shoot.
like you like.
Yes, I like
generated
UGC
content.
because like I want to see an everyday person, not some model. You know.
But does that actually kind of make it worse? Because at least when you have a high-end editorial thing, you know, like they're editing the fuck out of that. But when it comes to social
like it
media,
could be like slick.
it could be the tiniest little thing, and you would never know the difference because you've never even met them in real life.
That's true.
And so then you're setting this different standard for what you think is actually normal.
True.
Even though, like, you don't. That's not what they look like, and you shouldn't
Yeah.
expect to look like that either.
That's so true. I didn't think about
It
that.
like feels almost more manipulative, which is like kind of fucked up to say, but it's true.
Yeah. Maybe I'm the one falling for the system.
You're like, oh no,
Oh,
I have to
no.
rethink my life.
I mean,
for a
that's true
second.
because like I can go and like, you know, see the Victoria's Secret models and be like, oh, you know, they have so much money to do this. Their whole job
Yeah.
is just to be pretty. They don't have anything else other than obviously they're beautiful, but you know, their job is to be pretty and that's that.
Yeah.
But then I guess if I see someone in everyday life, I'm like, oh, how are they doing this and this and this and this? And then it makes you feel bad about yourself. Oh. Food for thought. I don't have an answer for that. I don't know.
All right, and then what's your number one must-have when it comes to your self-care or beauty routine that you think everyone should be doing?
My number one must-have is sleep.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Because you have to sleep in order to have good skin. Collagen powder. That collagen powder.
Sleep and collagen powder?
Sleep and collagen powder. Yeah, I think collagen powder has changed my skin.
Really?
Has helped my joints. Has made my hair longer. My eyes brighter. I mean, I feel so much better when I eat more collagen. It doesn't just have to be powder. It can be like stews. Like if you just boil bones. Bone marrow.
You can't just say boil bones.
You totally, like, I'm about to witch it up. But, like, I swear to God, you just put a bunch of bones. It could be chicken bone, like.
Wait, do you actually just go to the store and buy bones and boil bones?
You can, beef bones, yeah. Like, you can buy.
You boil them yourself? I've bought beef bone broth before, but, like,
No.
I've never.
I've made homemade bone broth. It takes a long time. You gotta simmer that thing for, like, at least 12 hours.
Wait, so is your stove just on for 12 hours?
Yeah, on low.
Is
You
that
can do
acceptable?
it on a crock pot. You can do it in a crock pot, too.
I also, like, I'm very new to the kitchen.
Me too. It's okay. I mean,
I feel like you've been cooking for years.
Yeah, but I'm not that good. I'm not.
If you're cooking bones, I feel like you're
I mean, okay, it's not that
advanced.
bad. Okay, so what you do is throw the bones in there. You put like a tablespoon of vinegar,
Okay,
water.
okay. Well,
And
that's
then-
what you have to.
Yeah,
You
you
boil
boil
it,
it. Yeah,
yeah.
You can't leave that out. And then you just simmer it for a very long time. So the vinegar breaks down the bones and like whatever nutrients and stuff to help you get that bone broth.
So then your bone broth is
Brothy.
but that it keeps the vinegar and the water, and then it just
the
has
vi-
like the flavoring almost.
Like the vinegar will boil out. It's just there
really?
to break down. Yeah. At least I think it is. I'm not entirely sure.
Science.
Yeah, I kind of forget because like I think it's kind of like cooking like with vodka.
Oh
right?
yeah,
Like,
with like the
it
properties
boils
of it.
out.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. But
And then, what would you say is the number one thing you think people need to stop doing when it comes to self-care and beauty routines?
oh, this is a really good one. I mean, I'm a victim of this too. Like, don't compare yourself to other people.
Fair.
I feel like that's such a blanket statement that we've been told since we were young, but then lo and behold, we do it
Things
anyway.
need to be repeated over and over and over until they get through our heads.
I know, but I think a story that I liked that one of my dance coaches told me was he was auditioning for Tokyo Disney for Prince Charming,
Okay.
and the callback out of 300 people was 4 tall white blonde guys because it's Prince Charming, and 1 5'8" black guy. Him.
Oh, he made the cut.
He made the the cut for like I guess like top five.
Yeah.
They were assessing all the dance skills, and they're like, okay, who's confident doing tap dance? They all raise their hands. They're all professionally trained. Who feels confident doing improv dance? And he's like, I want this role. Like I practice. Like I'm gonna do it. He raised his hand. He was the only one who got the job. They changed the entire script just for him.
Wow.
And so again, I think I talked about this earlier of like, be so good that they can't ignore you.
Yeah.
Donald Glover, who is Childish Gambino, when he was on a TV show, I forgot what TV show it was, that character that he played was supposed to be played by a tall white man. But because he was so talented, he was so good, they changed every interaction with every character, everything about this person to fit him.
Wow. I love stories like that.
I do too. Like it's easy to be like, oh, they're looking for like this kind of model. They're looking for this. I mean, again, for my pageant, they're looking for a tall blonde person. I can tell myself that all day. But if you tell yourself they're looking for you, if you put in the work, you put in the effort, you put in the confidence, I know maybe I have abundance mindset, but there's no way that it's not going to work out for me, whether it's now or later. Things take time, I will say, but like, I love hearing those stories, and I want every person to experience that too, because then we'll stop trying to bring each other down.
Yeah. Last question is, what is the greatest lesson you've learned in friendship? Just because we are friends, we've been friends for 8 years. So
we're friends.
I was trying to circle it back. Like this makes sense because we're friends, right? Like, so we should talk about like friends.
I love friends.
So, what's the greatest lesson you've learned in friendship?
Okay, I love that. I think we've talked about this before, where friends or people are in your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And I think distinguishing between those three is the most important thing to remember, because some people will only be in your life for a very short time, and that might hurt, but they've taught you something. And the friendship might ebb and flow, but that is okay. Because you as a person should ebb and flow, and everyone's on a different timeline. So I think distinguishing between those three, and then recognizing that things ebb and flow, because we're human.
Yeah. No, that's great. That's great advice.
Yeah.
You put it really very well.
What's yours?
My greatest lesson that I've learned in friendship? I think it's kind of similar to what you said, is more so from the ebb and flow perspective, is I think that there's been, actually no. Like yes, but no. My main lesson is learning to say the problem when there is a problem, and not trying to find the right time for the other person, because at the end of the day, there's never going to be a right time to tell someone feedback. I guess there's better times than others, but if you have the mindset like, oh, this is going to fix itself on its own, that it doesn't bode well for you or the other person or the friendship at all, because then you just start gaining resentment. And I think that is a thing that we do a lot, because we're constantly trying to fix the relationship that we have, instead of like sometimes just letting those periods of separation happen. And in all honesty, sometimes you just need that separation to happen, because a lot of the time it's not a personal situation. It's like, hey, I need to just focus on me, or just be away from you for a second, because I need to figure my own shit out. Like, it's not as personal as it seems. So in that case, it does kind of go back to like reason, season, or lifetime. I don't know. Is that right?
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, okay. I was like, I don't know if I have the exact words right, but
yeah, that makes sense.
Concept.
Like discerning when it's like, okay, should I bring this up, or like, do I just need space, or like, is it personal, or is this like, I've just seen too much of you right now, I need to get the fuck out of here, kind of thing.
Yeah, and just like making sure that you're actually communicating within the relationship, and not just leaving it up to chance.
Exactly.
But
I like that one too.
Thank you. I'm
Good
glad.
job. I like this. All right. Is that it?
that is it. Are there any last statements that you have?
I think it's really brave what you're doing. I really
Thank you.
I love reading what you've. Okay, I'm not a big reader. I'll be honest. I'm also like poetry for me. Like I've never been able to write it. I feel like every time I had tests on it growing up, I like always got it wrong. But I love seeing my friends put themselves out there and create because I think that's the bravest thing that you can do, and then also the most freeing thing. So I
Yeah.
think it's really awesome that you're doing that. You're putting yourself out there. Like I feel dumb as F sometimes. Like I've cussed this whole time. I don't know why I censored myself that time, but I feel dumb creating. But I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do it.
You have to.
Yeah, you have to. And again, like if there's something in your heart telling you like I need to make this, it is
It's
up to
for a
you to honor
reason.
it. And if people make fun of you for it, if people don't support you, if people are gonna like judge you behind your back, then like that's not a real friend. And like better to have less friends who are actually going to support you than have like a million and who are just gonna talk shit behind your back. Because they're the ones that are just jealous. They probably wish that they could be showing themselves as authentically as if you are right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you so much. That's so nice.
Of course.
Thank you so much for coming on. Where can the people find you?
You can find me at Kristina Tubera, Kristinatubera, or Femme Finance Official on Instagram.
Nice. All right. Well, again, thank you so much for coming on. It's been a true pleasure. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you had any thoughts on anything that we just talked about, drop it in the comments below. And subscribe, because we love having you here. It's always a good time. It's always a good chat. And might as well follow along. If you haven't read the book, because this is a book club, head on over to my Patreon under collections called The Devil's Odyssey. And yeah, we'll see you on the next episode of The Devil's in the Details.